Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 498. Today is Sunday, December 7th, 2025, and I'm glad you could join me today. No, no Vlogmas for me, nor has there. Yeah, that is not compatible with my lifestyle right now. Nor do I do a special Christmas thing every day in December leading up to Christmas. That just sounds exhausting. I will be doing one Christmas thing today, which is I will be um, going to my neighborhood Christmas party. But that should be enough. We'll see whether or not my child is afraid of Santa. Will probably be a very different experience because last time my daughter pretty much slept the whole entire time, and I don't think that's the type of person she is anymore. So we'll see. We'll see. So I am working on a row of my Go-Go Dynamo, and we are definitely getting whatever. We're getting there. As in, I am nearly finished. Silliness. So, um, I started this project back in July. It is December. It's fine. My other project I also started back in July, so have, yeah, I probably have bought some yarn since. um, but I suppose it is a valid question. Like for both of these projects, it's definitely the case where this is stuff that I have bought in this calendar year, so there's that. Um, uh, but it's what it be. The wavy border is pretty ridiculous at this point, like a significant element in and of itself. The only question that I need to answer for myself is would it be? Well, one of them is how much yarn do I have left? Um, which I think based on what my yarn usage was looking like, it I don't think it would be possible to do another um I don't think it would be possible to do another set of stripes. And at some point, like, would it be? It probably needed like circular increases. Whatever. So that's one thing about this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have less than a stripe's worth of the midnight left. Um, I am super glad I broke into that second skein of fluff, because I think that this is very fabulous treatment. I know I am really liking the incorporation of the fluff here. And I don't know if I'd mentioned it last time or that was some troubleshooting that had happened since I last recorded, or I don't know, whatever. Um, Hard to tell. I think I recorded on a strange day last time. Um, so I think there is a way to help open this up so it blocks better. So I just need to go in and snip the yarn I'd been carrying up the side, because even though I tried to be very careful and make sure it was very spread out, I think it still got sort of stuck. So um so I think that will do good things for the shawl. Yes. So what would it be? I've done the annoying row, which is when you reinforce the sort of wavy pattern with increases and decreases. So at this point, it's all fairly simple and straightforward knitting. But I didn't end up weighing it before I launched into the annoying row, so I may have lost some data, but maybe the important data for me at the moment is how much navy, how much midnight I have. Because that would be like the only question is if I decide to bind off, do my I-cord bind off in the blue color, or if I decide to do my bind off with the gray color, if I decide to do the bind up with the gray color and the fluff at the same time. I don't know. Oh, and it is funny because I am wearing the shawl I ended up knitting with the yarn I had intended to use it with, and like, yeah, I guess they don't go. um, it's quite possible that I don't even know. Yeah, it's interesting to see them at the same time and be like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. That was subconscious. I was actually planning on pulling out the brioche shawl, but it's fine. So, would it be? I'm having a little bit of a tangle moving its way up here, but that shouldn't be too bad. So, Go-Go Dynamo is a Stephen West pattern. It was the 2024 mystery knit along, and I don't like surprises. It's fine. Oh my gosh, I'm super congested right now. I am knitting it out of Fiber Optic Gleam, which is a 50% merino, 50% silk base fingering. And it's always a good idea to check out her stuff because she always has so many colorways. Really liking working with the base for sure. This isn't my favorite Stephen West mystery knit along. It was not as much fun as Exploration Station, but that's fine. I am really gonna like the finished object. And then the last yarn that I'm using is from Dusk to Dawn in the Bliss Yarn colorway, so that's a special colorway for that shop in Nashville. I think it's Nashville. I think, yeah, whatever. If it's not Nashville, it's close. Nashville metro area. Did I buy it this year at SSK or last year? I don't remember. Maybe last year. That is the challenge with doing it every year. You sort of forget. So it's like, where were we? What was this place? I could have bought it this year. It could have been last year. It's really gorgeous. Um, it's possible. Whatever. Fine. So I have all my markers in, which are keeping me on track, as we had talked about last time. Um, it. I am excited to think about new projects. That's always wonderful. Um, so it's quite, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but it's quite possible for the next episode this might be completed, so looking forward to that. So Probably should just detangle the blue yarn instead of uh, continuing on regardless. And I don't think I'm gonna make it to the end of a row during the section that I'm talking about it, and that's fine. Um, yeah, this wasn't the one that got most of the love this week. It did get, I guess, a little bit. It's so cool. So, you get like most of the impression of the shawl. Um, yeah. So the only decisions in front of me now are um what color I'm binding off in, and let's see. So what color I'm binding off in. Um, I'm assuming I'm not gonna do another repeat. Like, uh, like at some point it is gonna get sort of thin. So this one, we have pretty good usage. Oh yeah, I don't think there's any way that this can handle it. In fact, this this might have chosen for me what's going down. Um, I don't know. I guess I could. I'll have to figure out where my scale went. Look, a little bit. So, okay, get that loosened up. Okay. This really doesn't go a whole lot. Oh, then I have plenty of this. I can do whatever I want with that. So we'll see. If it needed to be an accent color, I don't know. It probably doesn't need to be. And then they'll, what it be? And then with the I-cord bind off, I think the only other question there would be whether or not I did um extra extra rows between bind off rows to help make sure it could be as big as possible. I don't know. That depends on, I think, how much of the dolphin, the gray color, I have left. um, if that's going to be about. Yeah, because it will, like, that's the difference. What is it? Just trying to figure it out. Like, it, to do that would double the yarn usage for the bind off, and it would be pretty pretty long bind off at that point. So, not sure what I want to do. But yeah, so big. Anything else? I think that's everything. Unless I manage to locate my scale. Which might just be in my bag. It's hard to tell. So, actually, this is important. I think this means that I have knitting off right now. Yep, that is true. It was like I started a row and then the marker just fell out of it, so that's always great. All right. That looks better. So I worked on this. There, for some reason, was like a really long line at the grocery store. Ah, here's the scale. So, oh well. I don't know. We can wait stuff later. It's fine. Um, yeah, it's sort of the case right now where um all my projects have need for scale. Playing the yarn chicken. So this is my Cinnatop. It is by Ksenia Nadayon. I'm knitting it out of Studio Donegal Darny in a hot pink, a teal, and a navy blue tweed yarn. It is a two-ply fingering woolen spun yarn. So, would it be? It um it has like I'm not quite sure what the like the specific wool content is in it. Like it definitely has a sponginess um to it. Not really sure if it has well, it doesn't really have like a prickle factor to it. Um, but it isn't what would it be? Derivative Natura. It's not merino wool, it's spun wool. So, um, and I am in like a yarn management mode now. So, the reason for that is um like back at the halfway point of the sweater, um, I measured my balls of yarn and I wrote it down on my Ravelry notes, and then I reread the note about how much yarn I started with, and I came to the realization that I had used more than half of my teal yarn. And I definitely selected this color sequence because it started off more teal on the sweater. um, this particular semi-random stripe sequence, I guess, was optimized for making sure that you used equal amounts of two yarns. It was not intended to manage for like equal amounts of three. Um, that that's probably a whole different calculation. So, and also I ended up adding like the sweater. So what's funny about me adding like the sweater is that this is um would it be like I'm not entirely sure what happened, but it definitely seems like more length than I thought. And maybe this is something that can just be zhuzhed out in blocking. I'm not sure. But I decided after looking at the measurements in the pattern that I wanted it to be 3 inches longer, which meant I needed to cast on 6 more inches of stitches. And now that I have the neckline on the sweater, it was like, huh, huh. So there's that. Like it feels like I've added more than that. And then also that's also a good thing to note was um like the regular version of the sweater um like or like it came in a cropped length and then a hip length, and then what I ended up deciding to do would be past hip. And a friend who knits a similar size to me had to dip into the very last bits, or she had to dip into um, additional skein in order to do her hip width one. So, um, would it be? So I must have added a lot of area of knitting here, which also would explain why it's taking forever. I don't know. We could argue that it shouldn't be that crazy to do do a sweater with 300-gram balls of yarn, but whatever. So um I am now um I now have the front and back joined again, so we're back to super duper long rows. Um and I'm just getting it to the halfway point so that I can quickly throw it on to show you guys. And then would it be with all of these yarn usage details? I don't know whether or not would it be. So it'll be interesting to see as this sort of wraps up, if I want to opt to change the width any of this any bit, or if I'm happy with that. I probably do need to more carefully count rows, because I do want to like basically knit the same number of rows. Um, so stuff like that. And then if I end up deciding that I need to, if I do need to add any width, then that is like an opportunity to do so, but I don't know, we'll see. Um, or just trust the process or double check my measurements. I don't know. We'll see. But we're back to the super long rows, so that can be good and bad. Um, and then at some point, I will have to decide. I don't even know. I'm not sure where that train of thought was going. So there, there's still like probably a couple more choices to be made here. Um, it does, or what is it? Like based on, so I'll need to count my rows. I'll need to figure out how many more I need to do in order to, um, how many more rows I need to do in order to get to my desired number. Then I will need to decide um, if I want to increase that after the fact, because there's a really big provisional cast on that's still in the cards. Um, and then there's like a big graft that's coming, which may be slightly obnoxious with wool and spun yarn. uh, and then there is sort of the yarn usage aspect of it, so making sure that I can make it to the end of the sweater, because I would rather not buy yarn from England if I don't have to. Yeah, and I guess I also don't know if there is like a United States distributor of this yarn, because that would help. But I'd rather not. I just want to finish the sweater. Um, so I think like at this point, now that I've done the or I have like finished the neck for this one. Um, if that then means like I'm past like the 75% mark on it. Um, and I'll have to be a little bit careful. So now I just have to get this free. So one of my needles is definitely longer than the other one for sure. All right, so we will take the shawl off. Yep. We have to disconnect the stitch marker that helps keep everything from being all loosey-goosey. I don't know if that ends up sort of being an effective progress keeper. That's okay. And then we effectively already have, like, because I've sort of pinned this, but like, it does look nice. I would have to be wearing it with a tank top, more than likely. Um, but yeah, so it'd just be the case where I think I would want um to whatever get the other shoulder done. Like it does look like the shoulder is falling in the right spot, and so then it would just be a little bit fribbing after I decide what armhole size I want to have. But yeah, this is how it's looking. But it definitely is what it be. Like I did add the length. Um, so if I stand up, like, so I'm wearing jeans, regular foundational garment. So we're like, so this is a very long shirt, and it is about as long as that. So, um, uh-oh. There's a very unhappy baby right now. So, would it be? So, it's coming together. And like, if you just want to like make sure I have it like centered right, it's like it's probably about right. So I just have to make it to the end, and I'll probably do the sleeve ribbing in um the navy blue if I have enough. So I am like in terms of yarn usage, I definitely have more of the pink, but I feel like the pink is a more poppy color. And then I did weigh it before getting too far here, but like this is what I'm going to be sort of watching closely. And then sort of as I'm ticking off how many rows I'm doing, I just like changed the pattern on the fly. So I'll do that, I think, a couple of times. Um, yeah, and maybe I need to double check the finishing directions on this wall. But maybe it's a bind off and seam, which could be easier than um, the alternative. And yes, this bag is not big enough for this. So, like, I definitely have like 100 grams of yarn left, so there's that. um, so I feel like I am gonna use a lot of the yarn in whatever this last quarter. So it's just a matter of managing it so that I don't run out of my teal. Um, and I don't know by putting like I don't want to have it be so that it's only the pink yarn that's picking up on it because whatever. Because the pink is bold. Um, and the combination of the teal and pink is a little bit um what would it be? It's definitely like an optical illusion sort of color. So it's definitely a bold choice. Um, so we'll see how everything comes together. I don't I don't feel like this is a project that I'm gonna be able to finish in the next 2 weeks. But who knows? I think talking amongst my friends, you like in this last stretch. So sometimes you can just power through just because you want it done. So we'll see. We'll see. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about was spinning. So I am working on my final ply of my long-term sweater spin. And I do have a decent amount of the bag left to go. Um, but that's okay. Um, it it is making forward progress. That's good. We'll get this guy back on. So I want to be slowly but surely working away at this since it's the final ply. I am excited about that. I definitely have a bit more to go on this piece, and then we'll swap in the next one. Um, I don't know if I've managed to do more spinning lately. Whatever, in like this next 2 weeks, that's probably a better time to spin somewhat. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Um, and that would it be? But it would be super duper lovely to get that off the wheel. Figure out if there is a quick and fun project that I could do in the meantime. And then I don't know, I guess that is an interesting question about since I am coming to the end of this current batch of projects if that means I would go from finishing handspun sweater yarn to knitting handspun sweater, or if I'm going to choose something different. Yeah, I don't know. Um, like what has been pretty neat. What is it? So it'd be the case where like I feel like a pretty large chunk of the year actually like it is like a good time for summer sweaters and light sweaters, especially um like on days when I need to go to the office and that sort of thing. And was excited because I found my 3 week sweater. um so um so it would be the case where I was like, hey, yeah, like I would love to have more of these because they end up getting in pretty strong rotation. But like it is like California winter. So it's like 45 in the morning. Um, no, it was super duper funny. Like, what was it? Like on Wednesday, I don't normally go in the office on Wednesday, but I did to go to my company holiday party or my department, whatever, I don't know. Um, and it was so cold in the office. It was just like, it's like I wore, like I have this sweater and it's still not enough. But I also didn't bring a jacket either, so I ended up trying to trying to find a warmer place to be because it was just like nothing's working, or maybe it was Thursday. It might have been Thursday. Um, so I ended up going to a different building because I just couldn't deal. Um, this was too uncomfortable to think. So, but that might be an argument that whatever, getting some more use out of my heavier sweaters isn't a bad thing. Um, but like, would it be? It's California winter now, so worsted weight sweaters are like the only layer you need. But you wouldn't want a fingering weight one. A fingering weight one wouldn't keep you warm enough. So that's where I'm at right now. It's like, all right, yeah. It's like I could make a lot more lightweight things or decide to do a smaller project. Though I think I was hoping this one would be a smaller project. Um, and maybe it just doesn't feel like it was a smaller project because I was doing it alongside a force gauge blanket. Who knows? So we'll see. We'll see. Um, so uh but I don't know, I guess it's all a matter of what project ends up getting a lot of love and how that will translate to what will get done first. And thinking, I'm thinking what ends up happening is like I might might take a pass at getting all three of these projects finished before I start anything new. Um, we we will see how that works out. But I think that would be nice. especially when like whatever. It feels like it's been a long time. Oh man, unhappy baby. So, let's see. What else? Um, shouldn't have any interruptions to recording schedule. Um, would it be? So that should that should all be pretty smooth. Um, in the coming weeks. Um, based on like the holiday travel is actually not suit like a super long trip, so that shouldn't change things there. Um, and then I am looking forward to doing the great stash photo, and I think I will resume. I will probably end up doing that in my bedroom instead of this room next year. Oops. That's the problem with knitting with long circulars like they're giant straight needles. I keep dropping the needle on the floor, which is why I end up starting a part of a row before continuing on. But it's like it does look good. Back, front. Does look good. So we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I need to do progress keeper to stay motivated, or I just need time over target. We'll see. Probably just time over target. Let's be frank. Yeah, and then I am looking forward to taking the end of December off. So that should be a lot of fun. Um, and then we can make everyone nervous by having mysterious clumps of yarn places. But yeah, so it should be good. So I'll be interested to see. I know. I think what that means is I won't have to decide to do anything new until I'm on break when I have maybe a little bit more bandwidth to decide. And we'll see if the allure of new yarn gets me, or I want what it be, because that's the thing about this is I think it's gonna be pretty thick, but I can't daydream about it till it's finished. Or if because I have bags of yarn sitting on the floor, if I need to cast on something that's taking up a lot of volume right now. So we'll we'll see what I end up deciding, because yeah, it's all just a mystery. It was like I shouldn't even bother right now. But would it be? But now that like I've said this intention aloud, um, like it is the case where it's like, all right, lock in. Or maybe I need to, or maybe I decide to do a lot of small projects. I'm not sure. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Um, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. But it's maybe making me feel like slightly more motivated to spin right now, so we'll go with it. Um, oh my gosh, so congested. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you soon. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.